In recent times, there have been a number of tanker trucks that have caught fire whilst on its way to deliver product to its destination, and it has become concerns to some of the industry players. So we are here to have a chat with the CEO of JK Horgle Transport and Company Limited. He has some concerns. Once he is an industry person, he seems to know exactly what is happening. As a transporter, how worried are you about this trend we have been experiencing in our country?
Yeah, it is one of the problems that is developing these days. In the olden days, when a tanker gets accident, before fire will come in, when it gets accident and all the valves are closed, there's no leakage, there's no fire. Now when there's a leakage, and then it gets, or people break into it. Normally, people who break into it, whilst they are fetching, where the temperature changes or there's a cable effect, then the fire will just come at once and govern the people. By these days, we are seeing that the car is going, but fire will just come into the car. One thing in the fire side of the vehicles, if your cables are overloaded, you see the fuse, if the fuse does not blow to cut the fire that is heating there, then it means it will melt the wire, the cables. Then fire will start coming in from the fuse box. By these days, we've added some value to checking the vehicles. Okay. That the MPA have fixed trackers into the truck. We started fixing trackers before MPA came in. Now, other companies too are fixing the same trackers like us. So one car is having about 2 or 3 trackers. Where they pick the power from, we don't know where they get the power, where they pick the power from. I've gone to some of them, ask them, where are you picking your power from? So in case the power is picked from one source, and there are 3 items on that source, then the fuse have numbers on it, 30 amps, 10 amps, 5 amps. Okay. If you go and put 30 amps at 5 amps, when there's cable there heating, it will contain it. So the fire will start coming. But electrical fire, it's not easy to just put off unless you put off the electrical switch. But still, because it's burning, it will still be burning. So most of the time, you see that the cable itself are overheated. So because of that, we are seeing that we are advising ourselves that nobody should be overloading a fuse. When you overload the fuse, likely the car will be going, then you see fire coming from the fuse box in front. Or when the front bearings of the truck on the wheel, the bearings are broken, what happens is that it will generate heat. Then heat will come into the brake drum. Before you stop, the tire is burning. Then it will set into the vehicle. Or brake band. You have not adjusted your brake very well. Your brake will be over-adjusted. When you just over-adjust your brake, what happens is when you apply the brake, it becomes very hot. Okay. When it's over-adjust, what happens, the brake will cease. But when you are driving, you see that the car slows down. You are forcing the car to slow down. When that happens, stop and readjust your brake. Ask the mechanic to come and adjust your brake. We have seen all these factors as one of the fire settings. But now, some of the fires we have done investigation, yes, you're not getting the true fact of it. Like the cable, the driver driving, I see fire coming from the fuse box. It doesn't happen. But before now, you're fixing things on the vehicle. Those things are coming. Are they fixing the thing on the right fuse or not the right fuse? How many amperes are the machines you are fixing? What is the amperes? If it's more than amperes, it's more than that. It means the cable there can get hot. When it gets hot, fire will start coming in. When it gets oxygen, then it will turn to fire. So those are the things we experience. The fires are plenty. The accident fire, vehicle driving and catch fire, or somebody holding candle or a lamp passing by a tanker that is parked. Because that knowledge is not there. He doesn't know what is there. So we advise the drivers again, when you are going to park your car, make sure that you park at places where you identify as a tanker. Most of them, they park at the filling stations. And on the trip, Ghana here, there's no rest stop for the drivers. Actually, also, that is another contributing factor. When you have a rest stop and you drive 3 hours, 4 hours, you stop. When you stop, you just stop to rest and examine your car. You are in the cab. You don't know what is happening outside. So when you examine your car, maybe there's a cable that is doing something. Quickly you can attend to it. But because there's no rest stop, there is no parking place for them, so they want to drive to the end. Also, when something is happening, they don't see it. It will come to generate another heat or fire in the vehicle.
Okay. Recently, MPA launched a facility that will be able to help them to monitor every truck that is on the road. I'm talking about BRVs that is on the way.
Yes.
Why is it not possible for these other companies who are also fixing trucks to connect with the NPA system other than to fix a truck on your BRVs?
Yes. MPA has done it compulsory. They have done it compulsory. MPA has done it compulsory that every truck must be fitted with the MPA tracker. They have two types. The first type is very good. It shows the volume of the vehicle. It shows the volume of the product in the vehicle. Wherever the vehicle is, automatically, everything that is on the vehicle, you see it. Everything that is on the vehicle, you see it. But now, they've changed to another type. And that one too, we don't have access to it. The first one, we have access to it. That's why we are not asking for access, which they will give us. They are training our people to get used to it. But it makes it that MPA is trying to control those things that people, but still, some other companies have their own on the track. And it's part of the contract that have been asked you to apply in the contract session. So you cannot dodge it. But if you have 2, 3, the question is, which fuels are they picking it from? That is the thing. But the MPA one is a standard one. For everybody, every tanker should have it. If you don't have it, you cannot enter any depot. But that's the thing, because if the MPA one is the one that everybody will use, then we know we have only one tracker on the track. So we will know which fuels they are using. Maybe the fuels will be loaded with only one. But we have got so many trackers, so many of them. So this one is fishing, this company is fishing this one is fishing this one. MPA itself have two different types. But they fish only one on each car. They won't fish the two. So this is another thing we are thinking about. And we're also watching how many trackers should be on the truck. Is it 2? Is it 3? Who should have access to it? We are just talking about it.
Oh, okay. So that is why I was asking, because the reason is once MPA is a regulator and is able to put a tracker on one, all other companies that want to also monitor the truck, they should be able to
buy access,
get access from MPA,
yes,
so that there will not be need for them to
fix
other trackers on the BRV, which you suspect that probably is the one causing the recent fire. So at what level has been the engagement with the MPA?
The engagement is that you pay a fine, you pay a fee, and they'll give you access. Everybody have paid, most of the companies have paid, they've got access. The new one, they are not training the drivers to get training officers from each company to know how to operate it. Now, the other companies who were fixing it before, they also have their own on the track. Before the MPA came. Now there's a new one called telematics. They are fishing on the other people also fishing on the track. So we have different kinds of them. And we as a company, we have our own.
You also have your own?
We have every car we have here, pick up every car, we have access to it so that we can track our trucks every time. Because some of them you don't have access to it. So you have something fixed on your car, but you don't have access to it. So how will you track your own car? Only the company can track your car, which is a little bit far from viewing your vehicle and understanding where your vehicle is. So that is a thing is another problem we are trying to solve.
But who pay for these trackers?
It is built to the MPA one, government pays. MPA one, we don't pay anything, it's government who pays. Okay. Only when you are going to do access, then you pay the access. But the ones we have fixed, the other companies have paid, we pay for it. They deduct from it every monthly. We pay every monthly.
And how much do you pay for it?
Some are in dollars, convertible into cedis. So it changes when the dollar changes, it also changes.
Okay, now your trucks are getting bent on the way. Once a truck is bent, who pays for it? Is it you the truck?
When the truck is bent,
assuming that it's a fire and you got to know that it is have been caused by the tracker because of the overloading of fuels. Who pays for it?
That is what we have not actually pointed at. We are trying to find out what fuels are being overloaded. Like the recent car that bent, the car was going there, the fire came from under the car, and the engine side. Means there's some heat there that has developed into fire. Now, other ones got bent. They were driving the car, the fire came from inside. The car don't go there, the car is moving. Then you see maybe people will stand by the roadside and say, oh, stop, there's fire under your car. It happened to private cars as well. So when cable touch, like recently a car that bent at on the George Bush Highway, they were telling him to stop. He couldn't stop. But what happened? The car was burning inside. The car was burning in the boots, in the engine boot. But the driver was in the car until he got to know the whole car got burnt. So that's cable. You see, so we have problems that are governing issues against our rules of working. But we cannot just wake up and then fix anything on the car. Just like that. That's how MP has come in to control that side. So when the car gets bent, every car is allowed to be comprehensive. So if your car bent, the insurance will take that side of it for you. If you don't insure your car properly, correct value, and then you pay the correct sum, when the insurance happens to check all these things and it's not there, then you lose it. Then you have to find your own money to buy. This is where it happens. But in the interim, everybody is allowed to. That's why we have all the insurance on the tankers. One tanker has insurance, about 5 of them.
5?
Yes. We have the vehicle insurance, we have the environmental insurance, we have the theft property damage, we have the theft insurance, we have the driver insurance as well. The driver driving car, the driver mate, his insurance is different. That workman compensation insurance. So all this is taking care of all the risks that comes into the petroleum industry, in the petroleum transportation. But if you don't do it well, you dodge insurance, also insurance will not pay you. That's why oil companies they'll come every year to audit your books and see, are your books correct? Are you arranging well? Are you taking care of the security of the job? Because the highest risk in the petroleum industry is the transportation. When you transport, you can go to the person station as you are discharging, and then there's a fire. It is your vehicle that is discharging. You have to your insurance will suffer all the damages. So every time you have to do your maintenance, you must make sure. Again, when you don't maintain your car, you keep joining cables here and there. Keep joining cables. Everybody works on your car. Any electrician works on your car. You also can develop these things because you are putting wrong cables at the wrong side. So it is for us, everybody. That's why the training is there. Every year they train us to know what we do. But now, the way the things going, we also do some research to find out. We are not concluded yet what is the true factor, but we are also engaging our fellow friends outside the country to find out what are these things. But we know that if a cable is overloaded and there's a problem on the line, and the fuse doesn't blow, what will happen? It will tend to fire. Which will
It's
come.
just like the meter ECU.
Yes. Like the AC meter, it blows. Something has overloaded on it. So the cable that is in the meter is not straight managing the power. So it overblow. It happened to the vehicle as well.
Okay, so assuming one tanker gets bent, how much will it cost to repair?
When a new tanker is almost $280,000.
$280,000.
Yeah.
Oh, that is very expensive.
Yes, very expensive.
So if assuming that the head got bent, but you have the
that will depend upon how your insurance will take it. Because if the head is bent, the tail will not do anything. But if you can buy another head to fix, then it will help you. But your insurance and where you are working will determine how you should use that vehicle or not. They will just say, you don't want that car again. Most of them will tell you don't want that car again. Finish. Then you have to buy a new one to replace.
Have you trained the the drivers to, let's say, assuming that once they drive, let's say 1 hour, 2 hours, they get down, they park the vehicle, get down to check whether the terminals are all right before they set off again?
Yes. That's what MP has put in, that training is one of the tools to make the work to be done very well. And for me, because I work with Shell and Total, we have got training from the beginning.
Okay.
Beginning. You see one of my awards, one of my awards is 1989. So I was sent outside for training, to come and train, to have the trainers training. And I went to visit other transporters in South Africa to show, this is what we have learned, they are doing there, so I had to bring it back. When I came back, I restructured my company.
Okay.
Yes, we learn. Only in this country, and maybe like I will say, most of people around Africa, when you say we are transported, they see you as no value person. But no, that's it. We move in every person in this country. These industries, schools, everything that you do. If you don't move it, if you're a transporter that don't move it, are you going to sell your thing in your own room? No. So it's one of the logistics is one of the key profitable business for other industries, because those industries will need logistics to move their product from there. You can't go to tow and buy petrol. You have to go to a fleet station. A transporter will move it there. So those things, we need to train the people. And that's why the transport logistics is doing. Even in Jimpa, they are not doing serious schooling there of transport logistics. It is good that we understand the value of a tanker. When it falls down, what should be done? That education should be coming among some group of people to take it up, or some people should take it up. That when you see a tanker coming, falling, or having involved in an accident, don't go near it.
We don't see any education on that.
We don't see the education on that.
Get up when there is a tanker.
It's not part of our road signs. It's not part of it. In our road signs, you won't see a tanker falling down. They write no go there, or no sign. No.
Some will even go there to pick kerosene.
They go. Recently, what happened in Takoradi? What happened? They went and were, trying to break the covers and take the fuel. And by doing that one, fire. It happened in Tanzania, where a tanker fell down. The driver parked. The driver was going to the bush. When he came back, somebody had smoked cigarette and has caught fire. And all the people saw that, that the head has caught fire. So they were stealing the petrol. And within a second or even a bam, the tanker caught fire. What happened? Over 300 and some people died. You see, through the fire, because where the petrol going, it was following. The fire was following it. So it's one of the education. I think the industry should take it up, prepare special sign for it, so that we put it on the roadside. When you see a tanker that has fallen down, with a no sign, don't go near it. Don't go near it.
Okay. So you told me earlier on that you have your two trucks got bent.
Yes.
Tell us something about it.
Well, the time I was just driving, people stopped in near Coco said, wait, stop. There's fire coming under the car. And then they never got down. And so the fire was coming. You don't know where the fire was coming from. Where's that from? So it was coming from the fuse area there. When we did the interview for the driver, it was coming from the fuse area. So he has to save himself, get down, use the fire extinguisher, try to reduce the fire before the fire service came in. And the fire service, when Coco fire service team, they are very good. They've done marvelously well on that road. Actually, they're serving the road very well.
At that time, how many trucks were fixed on the truck?
There's one a tracker, only one on it, and my own company one too.
Okay. So is it possible that it was maybe one of
the according to the numbers, they said that it's fuse. The information, the heat was coming, the smoke started coming from the fuse area. So, and the second one to happen to the driver said the car was just in front of the yard here. Then the fuse, nobody was driving there, the fuse, fires are coming there. And that car too was a sold car, sold it too. It's all recorded in my company. But we asked ourselves, what is this? Why this fuse? We check a lot of things. We have brought people from outside to help us to identify what is causing the fire. Up to now, I cannot pinpoint that this is this, but we got to know that when you overload fuse, a fuse, you overload it, you see that fire will come out from it. And we don't change your brake bands, and your brake bands are worn, and the brake seizes, fire will come from there. Whilst you're in the car, fire will come under the tie and get into the hubs, and then the tie will get it before you see. Your tire also got fire whilst you are driving. And when the brake band is over-adjusted, so the brakes will seize. When you apply flash, it will become hot. It will seize. There will see smoke coming from there. That also can get fire into escalation. The fire will go up, and then your bulk, if you're not lucky, and the petrol, there's a leakage somewhere to get it.
You have received a lot of training in the industry. How about the drivers who are also on a daily basis moving this truck? What measures have you instituted?
Yeah, every driver in our society, any tanker driver now, as at the last 6 years, or what should I say 10 years, there's a training school, we call it RSL. We have our in-house training. We will train you, when we employ you, 3 months to be under training. When you training finish, I'm the only person training you. The auditor doesn't audit himself. We'll send you to another RSL where the companies have chose. You go there and pass through that side too. When you pass, then you're okay. Then the company itself, the driver is a good driver, will send a team to come and audit, interview the driver, and see all the training they give him as he pass through. If you pass through, then you call the fire. We have got an agreement with the fire. The service. Every year we train our drivers. It's recorded. We pay, and there's a document on it. They give certificate to say that we have trained these drivers. They are capable of handling petroleum products. So the fire service will give you that certificate, and it's there. If you don't have that one, you will not drive our trucks.